In this episode, we're going to be looking at tips to make your party photography a bit better. So I'm going to give you some tips and ideas of how you can keep it interesting. If you've got a party event coming up that you've been booked for and they're expecting you to take photos, this video is basically going to give you some information about how you can make it easier for you and make sure you cover everything you expected to cover. It may be your first time, it may be you want to get into this, so I'll give you some ideas of how you can get into it. So parties and events will normally be addressed by an organizer. So if someone's been in touch with you and they want you to take photos of a nightclub, for example, or a party, then they're going to give you requirements. So make sure you understand how long the event is for. These are going to be basic things. How long you expect it to stay for, because the party may go on till early hours of the morning even. So make sure to check that out and make sure you've got enough equipment to cover you, enough batteries, enough memory cards, backup bodies. Can you set up additional cameras in the venue where you can get static shots with a wide lens? Can you use GoPros? So all of these things will be things you can look at. Can you use flash? So that's some things you want to think about in the background. Make sure you know what the photos are going to be used for as well. That's very important. They want it for their social media. Do they want to use it as print to hang up on the walls? Different types of scenarios for different types of events or parties. So I'll give you some tips about what to think about, and I'm hoping they'll help you. It'll just be me giving you ideas and kind of letting you explore it, because you're going to already be creative if you're checking this out anyway. So make sure in your shots you get some creative photos. Don't get your boring standard shots. Like I said earlier, if you can set up a camera in the corner somewhere in a nice spot where people are going to be gathering near a bar or a location where they're getting food or drink, you can actually get a remote shutter button and release the camera or off camera, if that makes sense. Take a photo away from the camera. I've got a number of bodies, so I can afford to set up one camera in a location, put a remote release on there, have my remote in my pocket. When I'm taking photos, if I see something going on somewhere else, push a button, I've got that photo. And then later on in editing stage, you can pick out the best ones. Make sure you're not shooting dead center, so making like interesting shots of people in their environment. When they start off, they're going to be a bit relaxed. You're going to get the standard corporate type shots. As the evening goes on, you'll get a mixture of other shots. Make sure you're getting all the guests that are coming, the staff that are working, the bartenders, those kind of things. You can cover all of those. Use flash if you can. Use unique lighting, so bounce flashes off. If you can put cameras off, if you put flashes off camera, point them to the wall and have certain features which light up. You can use slower shutter speeds to get a bit of motion in the photos to make them look a bit more interesting. So interesting effects with jaunty angles. There's loads of black and white you can do, some types of photos. Make sure you get people's personalities and make sure you don't stick to one spot. You want to be going around and looking around what's there, what you want to get, what you don't want to get. Try using props. So that's a good one. You can only take stuff with you where you can actually give like little smiley faces or certain glasses or stuff like that, which kind of makes it a bit more interesting for people. That's dependent on the location, so make sure to check that with them. They may already have stuff that they want you to include. Maybe certain brands that the event's affiliated with, so make sure you get the branding, the location from outside, inside, tables, the drinks that are there, everything that needs to be pictured. You may have a shoot list. If you don't, make one. It's basically a list of things that you want to get on the event, so it makes it clear in your head what you need to shoot, and make it like a little printout on a card or something that you can just put in your pocket, because you may run out of battery and you can't check your phone, which can happen if it's a long event. Different types of portraits. You can take certain people away to a section and get smart photos of them. You can get a few people together in a group and take photos of them, offering those kind of things. If there's props, that if it's like a special event, is it themed? If there's a theme, make sure your lighting is in accordance with that to make the photos more. If there's like a dark mood, make it more dark. If they're like a light and bright area, then you got more light. So that's a few ideas to get you thinking about it, but make sure you get loads of candid shots. So don't have too many posed shots. You want to get people in the natural environment, enjoying themselves, and those tend to do better than like poised shots because people don't often know what to do with themselves, which is probably another topic of best standard poses to use for people that are not used to being photographed. Look for action shots. People are going to be busy dancing, and make sure you got a good shutter speed so you can capture that detail so you're not kind of always in blurred. So fast shutter speed. If you have two cameras, set up one on a wide angle and one on a telephoto so you can take close-up shots of detail if you need to. Where possible, shoot in RAW format so you've got enough detail to recover images if it was too light or dark on the occasion. So that's a few different options, kind of get you thinking. I'm hoping those help you. I've done a few of these videos about tips for fashion photography, event photography, party photography. So I'm hoping these kind of help you as a beginner or if it's your first time. Try not to worry too much. Relax yourself. When you're there, you'll automatically get into your element and you'll take amazing photos. So best of luck, and I'll see you in one of these videos.